Well, I think one of the things you always tell everybody who's never been here, and particularly the young players, is you don't know which play is going to make the difference, which one. You say that every game, but when you get in there with you know, a heavyweight like Sam Fran, man, um, it is the difference. And sometimes you can only say so much. You got to live it, unfortunately. And you got to get your heart ripped out, which we did. And it's a lesson learned. And look, I told those guys, this may have been our only shot. Do I think that? No. Do I believe that? No. However, I know how hard it is to get here. I'm well aware. And it's going to be twice as hard to get back to this point next year than it was this year. That's the reality. And if we don't have the same hunger and the same work, which is a whole nother thing, once we get the off season, then we got no shot of getting back here. I don't care how much better we get or what we add or what we draft. It's irrelevant. It's going to be tough. Everybody in our division is going to be loaded back up, and you're not hiding from anybody anymore. Everybody's going to want a piece of you, and which is fine, you know, which is fine. But so it's hard. You want to make the most of every opportunity, and we had an opportunity, and we just couldn't close it out. It does. It stings. It stings. It's tough. Yeah, I mean nobody's happy. Um, they're very disappointed. It's disappointing, and I think I said it pretty vividly. It's like getting your heart ripped out, and it's hard. It's hard. And no, we didn't come in at half to nobody. We were doing backflips like, all right, we got this thing won. They know better. We all know better. We talked about it. We knew they were going to make a run in the second half. We talked about it. We knew we were going to have to weather a storm in the second half. And so when they started to make a push, we weren't surprised. We just couldn't counter back. And we've always been able to counter back. We just couldn't quite do it in this one. Listen, what we talked about is, man, you fight every play, man, and you make them earn everything they get. He was in phase, and he competed, and it didn't work out. And you know what? That's life of a cornerback. It's life of a quarterback as well. Those two positions. And listen, it happens, and you go back for the next play. And long term, you know what? That won't be the next time that happens. Unfortunately, it's every corner gets put on an island at different times, and so you just keep going. You just keep fighting, and that's what I want, and that's what I'm looking for. What I don't want is a player who looks scared and doesn't get up there and challenge, and but a guy who'll go up there and mix it up and isn't afraid of who he's lined up over. You know what? Give up play, give up play. Nobody feels good about it. Certainly, a player doesn't, but I know they're fighting. Yeah, I mean it's hard. Um, everything that I'm a firm believer in. Everything's got to be right, and everybody just thinks that it's just talent or it's just coachability, and the more talent you get and the better coaches or the more well known, then you're just automatically going to be good. And that's not the truth at all. It's not. Does it help? Yeah, it helps as long as they are compatible and there is a chemistry and there is teamwork and there's an unselfishness and you leave the egos at home, and that's hard. It's hard to do that, and so you set it up. Well, now it's just going to look different, and it's got to be right again. It's got to be right. Some of the players, potentially some of the coaches, man, we've got to start over, and we got to find the right mix, the right balance, and it's got to be right. Because otherwise, you don't. I'm a firm believer. You don't have a chance if it's not. You'll become average quickly.